Colleen.
The meeting tonight is for the conduct of town business by the town board. The public is invited to participate at the items marked on the agenda, public comment. During that segment of the meeting, if you have a question or comment for the supervisor, please raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged. State your full name and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation.
Thank you. And tonight's the April 10th, 2023 meeting, and I need to make an amendment to the agenda. I need to add a resolution number 55 for the Ulster County Municipal Park Grant. I need a motion to add that.
I'll make the motion to amend the agenda to add Resolution 55.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. And I need to add an executive session on SRO Sergeant request, and I'm going to ask the chief to come in with us on that as well. And I just need a motion to have an executive session.
I'll make that motion, have an executive session on SRO Sergeant position.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so I'm going to say, can we make, before we get to the pledge, I just want to say make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as amended.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, so please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please remain standing for a moment of silence for all those men and women who sacrificed their lives to give us the opportunity to serve our country, our state, and our town. Thank you. All right, so we did 1 and 2 and 3. So I need a motion to approve the March 27th, 2023 Town Board meeting minutes.
I make the motion to approve the town board, what was it?
27th, 2023.
27, 23 board meeting.
I'll second
Sorry,
that.
Eddie, I should have it right up there so you
That's
can
all
see
right.
it.
I'll second that.
A second. All in favor then?
Aye.
All right, authorization of the bills, we have an abstract in $141,336.82. I need a motion to pay the bills.
Make the motion to pay the bills.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so move. Before we get to the departments, instead of Anthony waiting, I'm going to move him up. Is that all right with the board?
It's fine with me.
So we have a presentation from Eagle Scout Anthony
Chalia.
Chalia. Oh my God, Chalia. Who is going to present to the board his project for Eagle Scout down at the Marlborough walking trail. And Anthony, if you want to come up, and I'll bring up your little slideshow, and you could explain to the board what you're going to do, and if they have any questions, come right up to the podium. Oh, how's they're doing that there, Justin? How you doing, Anthony?
I'm doing good, thank you. The main part of the project is going to consist of 3 phases. The first phase is going to be the collection of the general trash just around, like plastic bottles, and it's a lot of scrap metal and just random assortments of just junk that would look a lot better not on the trail.
Yep.
The second phase would be the removal of like the dead trees and the overhanging, so someone can't get hurt if they fall or if they're blocking the trail's path. And it's going to consist of widening it so the fire department can get their utility vehicles down.
Right. Yep, they got one last year, a year and a half ago, so that would work out perfect.
And then for a final part, just to go down one more.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of like post-it index cards that are just laminated around.
Oh,
I'm going to
yeah.
replace those with nice signs describing what kind of tree they are. I'm in talks with someone from the DEC about that for New York DEC to help identify.
All
That's
right.
great.
I mean, it's funny because I think myself and Councilman Zambito were just discussing something about this, right, Dave? Yeah. So when you had sent it in, I was like, oh, this is perfect. So, and like if anybody hasn't seen, you know, some of the stuff. This is part of our slideshow. So the nature trail sign is now up. And the Highway Department, Water Department, and Councilman Zambito did help with some drainage around there. So you could see that there's already been work starting to fix it up. But I think your project is exactly the next thing that the trail itself needs. We always have trees falling down there quite often. So anybody have any questions for Anthony?
I think it's a great project.
Good job.
Nothing? Man, that's an
No, I
easy one,
think it's
Anthony.
great.
Go back.
Yes.
You're good, Anthony. No questions. That's a quick one. So I'm going to ask for a motion by the board that we approve the Eagle Scout project by Anthony Chala.
I'll do it.
Oh my God almighty.
I make a motion that we approve the Eagle Scout project by Anthony Chalia.
There, you're perfect, Ed.
I'll
Any-
second that.
Can you say that last name for me?
I will second the motion to approve the Eagle Scout project by Anthony Chalia.
I could say it, Anthony. Anthony Chalia. See? I said it. Just give me 5 minutes and I won't say it right. Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. I appreciate it, and we appreciate it. So just let us know what you need from us, and then we'll try to help you out in any way we can. So thank you very much, all right?
Thank you.
All right, great. So now you don't have to sit here the whole time. Oh, don't tell me I just
Yeah,
disconnected.
you did.
Because the thing keeps popping up, man. Dang. I pin it to the board, and it still pops up. Do, 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 do. See, Jerry, we won't have these issues if we had the stuff like we were looking at getting for the other building. All right, let's get back to our, see, pin, stay down there. All right, so now we're going to get to item 7, which is reports of our department. And my report for April 2023, had conference call with Brandy Nelson, discussed the North Pier build and the project timeline, and hopefully they'll have divers in the water in a couple weeks. From that dive, we'll understand what we can and can't build on top of those pylons. Had multiple meetings with town engineer Phil Bell, contractor WMD for the general construction of the new community center to go over the schedule and the to-do list of renovation projects. So as you can see, we're still in a holding stage, but some people did show up today, so it looks like things are going to be delivered tomorrow, and hopefully we're going to start reframing and moving along. But you know,
So are you in the holding stage because of money related or because of material, waiting for material?
I'm in a holding stage because WMD hasn't had their people show up. So multiple reasons on his end. So,
Okay.
you know, he had union contract issues, and then he had
You stated that
some
the last-
financial issues. So, but again, that's not our issue, that's his issue. His issue is he has a contract with us and he has to complete the project, right? So if he doesn't complete the project, that's why we have performance and material bonds that we could call in if we have to. We don't want to go there, so we're trying to work with him as best we can. So we're just going to keep moving forward. Held a quarterly department head meeting to discuss what we accomplished for the first quarter and what we're going to go over for to accomplish for the remaining year. Had a conference call meeting with Sean Grimm from GPI Engineering to go over the Highway Water Department building renovation project. So still getting more information from us to make that number that they're going to present to us a little more accurate than the general number that they threw at us. So we're waiting on that. Had our conference call meeting with Dennis Laris to go over the Marlborough sewer expansion project and the installation of the new rotors that arrived. So those are going in now. Had a discussion with the PBA union attorney, Anthony Safar, to discuss and exchange dates for upcoming union contract negotiations. And we're going to be starting those on the 12th, so in a couple days. Met with the audio and visual contractors at the Community Rec Center with town engineer Phil Bell, Chief Kokoza, and Larry Lazaroff to discuss the audio and visual needs of the building. And I brought it up last meeting that those needs that we're going to need for that building are quite expensive. So I'm trying to round those numbers up for next meeting. So I was trying to get you guys the numbers by next week so you could have time to look at them. But again, this stuff is quite expensive, so don't be shocked. Met with Chris Garrison to go over the copier lease agreement and need for a new copier in the building department, which was delivered today. Had a conference call with John Ray from Edwards Government Tech to discuss the pricing they gave us on the software upgrade needed for our accounting and payroll system. And this is something I'm going to discuss with the board in the next couple of weeks further. I'm going to meet with Chris and Tina on Wednesday to go over this, but again, quite expensive. I think I talked about this in our department meeting, but it's like at least $30,000 for the first year to start, and it's then about $29,000 a year. So it's quite expensive. But this is the new system. These people bought out all the old competitors, and now they have a monopoly, and they dictate what you are going to pay. So we're going to figure it out. Had a meeting with camp directors, Melanie Anto, Gail Translio, and Dawn Macarago. See, I can't say that. And Tina Ross to discuss the upcoming camp season. So it's moving forward pretty well. Looks like we have a camp health director, which is good. There's a couple little things that she's got to do according to the county. Believe it or not, she's a nurse in Newburgh, and the county still says she's not qualified enough, which makes no sense. So she's got to take a couple more classes. So she'll be doing that. Met with Councilman Zambito, Charlie Maggio, and John McElrath to discuss the maintenance needed at the park and the bocce courts. Looks like there's a few of the boards are rotted out. So we agreed that we'll get the boards and the bocce league will install them. So I have to get an update from Charlie. You didn't get anything updated, Dave, on that from Charlie? If he, on the material for the bocce courts? Do you know if he?
No, I did not get any update.
Because John was asking today, because they are trying to schedule guys to come and install it. So if we could find out from Charlie.
I thought Pickens and,
Yeah, but we got to get them the material.
oh, but they're going to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's asking me today, did we get the material so they can
He
come
wants to
do
know
it?
what day people have to be updated for.
And so I just got to let him know. So if you could get Charlie to
Okay.
find out. Again, met with Councilman Zambito and Charlie Maggio at the Clued Chance Park, and we went over the maintenance needs for the park this year. I gave them a long list of things. Hopefully we could get done this year. If we can't, it'll go into next year, but there's quite a bit of maintenance that needs to be done at the Clued Chance Park. One of the main things is the pavilion definitely needs to be painted underneath. It's chipping like crazy, so that's going to be a pretty good expense, but it definitely needs to be done. It's not looking really well, so we're going to get some estimates on that. Met with Legislator Corcoran, Councilwoman Sessa, Deputy Supervisor Appler, Rosemary Wine, and to go over the Ulster County Park grant application. Councilwoman Sessa is working with Rosemary Wine, a town engineer from NGPI, to complete the application. So that's the Resolution 55 tonight. So that application is due tomorrow. I don't know if you want to elaborate.
It's the Ulster County Municipal Parks Grant that would allow us to get up to $100,000 from Ulster County to put lighting on both of our upper fields, one of the fields at the upper part of Clued Chance Park and the baseball field at Young's as well.
Yep. So hopefully we'll get that. They're not, believe it or not, you think these are county grants, they'd be somewhat a little easier, but they were competitive.
Extensive, yes.
And there's a lot of time that goes into them, so thank you for taking that over. had an on-site meeting with the Milton Landing Committee, Councilman Zambito, Deputy Supervisor Appler, John Behan, Carrie Engel, Rosemary and Jerry Wine, Jason Pidgaro, to discuss putting out the bid for the Milton Landing project. This is from the LWRP grant money that we received. You don't see that, Eddie?
No.
That froze up, see? We're doing great tonight. I'll have to reset it again, but right now it froze up. So it's the New York State LWRP grant that we've gotten about 2 years now. The state's really pushing us to get this grant moving along. And as everybody knows, the reason why we haven't moved it along is because CSX has been pushing back on us to sign this really one-sided maintenance agreement at a very large expense to the taxpayers. And I have not signed it because I don't think it's fair to us or the community or into the future, because it's a 3% increase a year on a $17,000 to start number. But they won't budge. So at this point, we're looking at possibly just using our existing crossing, and we're going to start the design around that. I don't know if you want to elaborate any more on that, Dave, what we talked about, but pretty much.
I'm on the phone with Charlie. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we're just going to start on the west side of the tracks, and then we're going to look at putting the fence on the east side of the tracks and try to make the current crossing as safe as we possibly can with fencing and signage. But we're going to start moving forward. I had a Zoom meeting with the Bayside developers, Dan Rieger, Eric Baxter, and Town Attorney Sarah Wilson, discussed the performance and maintenance bonds on the residential and commercial property. If everybody doesn't know, Asher Sussman still does own the commercial property, even though Rieger and Baxter have done improvements on that property. You can see they have a retention pond there, all along 9W, but Asher Sussman still owns it. But when the original maintenance and performance bond was put on the project, it was for both the commercial and residential combined. So Baxter and Rieger are asking that they be separated. So they only pay, because the renewal's coming up, so that they only pay on their residential part of the property, and makes sense. Pat Hines agrees, as long as the two numbers add up to the same number in the end, there's not a problem. So we just got to make sure we do this in a correct way, because we got to get Asher Sussman to also agree. And he should agree, because his bond's going to be reduced. So it's not like he has to come up with any extra money. It's just that his bond will be reduced, and Baxter and Rieger will put a new bond in, and theirs would be larger. And then that'll be coming before the board probably, I would assume, by next meeting.
So who has the residential and who has the?
Baxter and Rieger has the residential. They're the ones building, right, the site, and the commercial is owned by Asher Sussman. Currently.
He used to own the whole thing.
He used to own everything. They're in talks to possibly try to buy it, but nothing's a done deal. So, but right now he still owns it, that part. And he has an agreement with them to utilize the property for that retention pond that's there now while they're building, because for overflow of water. And then I attended the Marlborough Host Company #1 annual commissioners dinner, and this year's honorees were Frank Williams, who served over 50 years of service, and Anthony Libinati, who had served 25 years as a fire commissioner and probably about combined 60 years of service to the Marlborough Host Company. So it was a pretty great dinner, and had a good time. So that's my report.
All right, you want me to report on the bocce court?
Yes, go ahead, while Tommy's walking up.
Sorry. I just got off the phone with Charlie. The materials are in, and we can pick them up at any time.
All right, perfect. So then I'll call back Johnny Mack and let him know.
Yep.
I'll tell him just to get a hold
And
of
also the playground that we discussed, those issues are taken care of.
the cement and all that. All right, great, awesome. Okay, good. Check, check, check. Thank you. All right, Tom.
Building Inspector's Monthly Report, March 2023. Certificate of Occupancy 7, Request for Information 12. Building Extension 7, Fire Inspections 18. Orders to Remedy 11, Complaints 29. Building Permits 5 additions, 6 burning permits, 1 carport, 2 commercial permits, 1 deck, 2 demos, 2 electrical, 1 furnace, 2 pools, 5 roofs, 4 sheds, 1 single-family home, 7 solar panels. Total permits 39, estimated cost of building $5,600,206. Fees collected, certificate of occupancy 1225, permit extensions 5849, building permits $25,911.63, request for information is 2,400, fire inspections 2,130, for a total fees collected for March 2023 $37,515.63. Total gas usage 93 gallons, total miles 1511. Just to remind everybody that burn ban is in effect until mid-May, so no burn permits being issued March 15th through May 15th, so no burning allowed.
Tommy, the request of information, $2,400, is that?
Request for information is mostly when a house is sold. I have to go out to the house and do a physical inspection of the property to report if there's any illegal building, no building permits. So I'll go out, and then Penny pulls the file for that SBL, and I go out and verify that it has a pool deck, a shed, and if there's something missing, we send it back with violation so the house can't be sold with the violation on it. So in theory, we're working for the buyer. The buyer basically requests I go out to the property and verify everything on the property is legal. That's a request for information.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else got any questions for Tom? Oh, you're good
That's it.
then.
All
Thank
right.
you. All right, so next up is Chief.
Okay. Activity summary for the month of March 2023. Personal injury auto accident 6, fatal 0, property damage 23 for a total of 29 for the month. Vehicle and traffic summonses issued 116 with 1 parking violation issued. Complaint activity 919 blotters, total arrests 15 for the month. Telephone calls handled 1,068 calls. Overtime for part-time dispatchers 9 hours for the month. Police mileage for the month 10,787 miles with a fuel consumption of 1,050.719 gallons. We did not have any use of forces this month, nor did we have any civilian complaints this month. Respectfully.
One deer.
Out of curiosity, property damage, is that, give me like samples. What do you mean?
2 cars crash into us, nobody gets hurt. Not into us. 2 cars crash into each other and nobody gets hurt. That's property damage.
Oh, okay, it's not like somebody drives in somebody's house.
It could be, but as long as somebody doesn't get hurt, it's considered a property damage accident.
So the property damage is an accident.
Yeah, an accident. And then personal injury is somebody physically got hurt, had to go to the hospital. So that's how they differentiate them.
Thank you for that clarification.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Anything
Thank
else?
you.
Anybody? Good?
Appreciate
Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Chief. All right. This is all the extra reports. All right, we got the Highway Superintendent, John Alonji. Who wants to read it? Dave, you want to read it down there?
Yeah, I gotta find it.
Right there.
Okay, I got it. Is that Charlie?
All right, John Alonji, monthly report for March 2023. This month, we had several meetings with the town supervisor to discuss a water line extension by the high school. We met at Tomvac to discuss the installation of security cameras for the building and met with Phil Bill to go over the renovation plans. Spent several days removing trees, stumps, debris for the extension of the parking lot. Also had a crew preparing the concrete pad for the HVAC system. On 3/1, we had a meeting with the marine engineer down at the Milton Landing. On 3/20, we built and installed a new sign for the Tony Falco Nature Trail, and on 3/27, we installed the fountains at the pond at the town park for the summer season. Throughout the month, we had crews repairing lawn damage from the winter storms, trimming trees and brush, and cleaning ditch lines in both hamlets. Several days were spent assisting DiLorenzo Tree Care with the removal of trees on Old Indian Road, Chestnut Lane, Orchard Street, Jonathan Place, Cross Road, Bloom Street, the landfill, and at the Tomvac location. On 3/4, 3/11, and 3/13, we had snow events which required us to send out trucks to salt and sand the roadways throughout the town. On 3/30, 2 men attended a Cornell Local Roads Program workshop for drainage and MS4 training. Fuel usage, gas. It's not available, and diesel not available. Respectfully, John Alonji, that's because our pumps are down. The computer system for the pumps are down.
Yep, and we
That's
know.
why we can't get any readings, so I'm sure they'll report this month's, next month.
And as we discussed at our department meeting, we're probably going to change over to a new vendor.
We have to upgrade.
So hopefully this won't keep happening because we're having issues with it. All right, Eddie, you want to read
Yep.
the water department?
Charles Maggio, Water Superintendent, monthly report for March. Water consumption total of 15,530,000 gallons, which is a daily usage of 507,530 gallons. Compared to last month, 14,097,000 gallons, which is a daily usage of 503,464. Compared to a year ago, water consumption was 17,040,000 gallons for the month, which is daily usage of 549,677. Summary for the month. Curb boxes. We had to repair curb box and stem valves on Paula Drive and Orchard Street. Meters, we had to replace 5 Orion meters. Service lines, we had to repair service line on Orange Street and Orchard Street. Sewer, we had to repair a sewer riser on Anna Place and Jackson Avenue. Town Park, started cleaning up the bathrooms and garage. We installed the aerators in the 2 ponds. We turned water on and repaired 2-yard hydrants at Young's Field. Sewer line inspections 0, service line inspections 2, closings 4, markouts 40, gallons of gas 190, gallons of diesel 20, miles for the month 1,600 miles.
Thank you, Ed. And monthly clerk's report. Holly, here's your, before you forget it.
Okay, Town Clerk Monthly Report, March 2023, burn permits 1 for $45, conservation 4 for $5.42, dog licenses 36 for a total of $205, towing licenses 1 for $300, water services 1 for $500, transfer station permits 5 for $298, punch cards 14 for $942, marriage licenses 1 for $17.50, building department fees 1 for $9,818.85, fire fees 1 for $1,125, accident reports 22 for $110, alarm permits 1 for $20, certified copies 8 for $170, clerk fees 2 for $16,250, dog warden fees 1 for $80, FOIA requests 4 for $20.50, junkyard licenses 1 for $300, park fees 2 for $900, sewer fees 2 for $500, for a grand total of $31,607.27.
Thank you. Any questions? Anybody?
Okay.
Kelly, the clerk fees are what the courts make, right?
No, the clerk fees for this is for Tommy's Hometown Hero banners that he's doing.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's our clerk fees for this year. Yeah, the court handles all our money.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I just wasn't clear. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure.
Thank you. Water quality. Who wants to do water quality? Manny, you want to do it, or?
Yeah, I did. Okay, water quality management, April 5th, 2023. For the month of March 2023, both Marlborough and Milton wastewater treatment plants complied with all of the SPDEC requirements. The following are the monthly statistics for both plants. Marlborough WWTP, average daily flow, 169 gallons per day, about 97% of the design capacity. Average BOD removal equals 96%. Average suspended solid removals, 95%. For Milton, WWTP, average daily flow, 35,000 gallons per day, about 64% of the design capacity. Average BOD removal equals 98%. Average suspended solid removal equals 94%. Both of the Marlborough and Milton treatment plants operated normally during the month of March without any major changes or events. Whitcon has started to replace the oxidation ditch rotors and wear at the Marlborough facility. They are currently finished with one, but are waiting for the final inspection by the manufacturer before they can turn it on. A Lakeside representative is expected to come out sometimes next week. As of now, we are operating with just one of the two rotors, but we have not been any effect on the treatment process. The high flow rate of Marlborough was due to the combination of snow melt and storm events that took place this month. The system was able to handle the flow, but we should look into mitigating any sources of infiltration and inflow. Months with high flow like this are increasing our yearly average and will make it more difficult to accept the new connections in the future. If you need any additional information, please do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you, respectfully, Julio Falco.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the overflows from the drainage into the plant really does, as you could see, affect it. So, I mean, another reason why we're increasing the capacity there, but that doesn't solve the issue of all the overflow water. So, I know Charlie looked at this a bunch of times, but we have people are actually draining stuff into our drains, so it's an issue. 97% of capacity is high. So, the dog control, Andrew McKee, dog control officer, Monday, April 10th. Overview: we received a total of 11 calls this month, including 2 calls for service from the Marlborough Police, New York State Police, or Ulster County Sheriffs. Responded to 2 active complaints and our cases, which are now closed and resolved. We currently have 2 open cases or complaint. We impounded 1 dog this month. 0 appearance tickets were issued this month. There was 1 dog bite reported this month. We have no dangerous dog cases under investigation. We would like to remind residents to not leave your dogs outside unattended. This is the time of the year that windows are open and our residents would like to enjoy the fresh spring air. And the report, and that's from Andrew McKee. Thank you, Andrew. Planning Board, Councilwoman Sessa.
Planning Board review, March 2023. March 2023 application fees, $1,620. Escrow fees, $2,216. Recreation fees, 0. And March 2023 invoices, $5,146.29. Meeting March 6th. Attendees were Chris Brand, Fred Callow, James Garofalo, Steve Jennison, Cindy Lanzetta, Joe LaFaro, and Bob Tronsolito. Agenda: approval of stenographic minutes for 2/21/2023. Approval for the above minutes was granted unanimously. Terrence Laura Cuddy, 50 Bailey's Gap Road, Highland, final subdivision. The board unanimously approved the formal SECRA negative declaration and resolution of approval prepared by council for this application. The board also approved recreation fee findings in the amount of $2,000. Marlborough Fire District, Orange Street and Grand Street, Marlborough final lot line. The board unanimously approved the formal SECRA negative declaration and resolution of approval prepared by council for this application. Administrative discussion: the board continued the ongoing discussion regarding approvals and checking to ensure the conditions of approval are being met by individual applicants. The board also discussed ongoing code review, legal notices, and fee schedules. Next deadline, Friday, March 10th. Next scheduled meeting, Tuesday, March 20th. The March 20th meeting attendees were Chris Brand, Fred Callow, James Garofalo, Steve Jennison, Cindy Lanzetta, Joe LaFaro, and Bob Tronsolito. Agenda: the approval of stenographic minutes for 3/6. Approval was granted unanimously. Sarinsky, East Side Ridge Road, 191 East Ridge Road, Marlborough, public hearing subdivision. The applicant's representative alerted the board to errors made when sending out mailings for the public hearing. The board agreed to open the public hearing for anyone in attendance and adjourn the public hearing until April 3rd, 2023's meeting. The board discussed minor adjustments to be made on final maps and authorized the attorney to prepare a resolution of approval for the next meeting. Altieri and Krasinski, 278 and 268 through 272 Orchard Road, Highland, sketch lot line. The board agreed to waivers made by the applicant on checklist items number 17, 21, and 26 through 50, as no new construction is planned. The board requested the applicant complete the ethics disclosure and made several minor adjustments to their final maps. The code enforcement officer's comments regarding the use of a mobile home on the lot were received. The board authorized the attorney to prepare a resolution of approval for the next meeting. Next deadline was Friday, March 24th. Next scheduled meeting is was Monday, April 3rd, 2023. Respectfully submitted, Chris Brand, Chairman, Town of Marlborough Planning Board.
All right, thank you. All right, so we're at reports of committees, and Councilwoman Sessa, you want to report on recreation?
Yes, I do. The Recreation Committee held the annual Easter egg hunt, which was called the Easter Egg Dash this year at the Sports Dome in Milton on Saturday morning. Doors opened at 9:30 and the actual hunt began at 10 o'clock. I would say the turnout was quite impressive. It was a very good crowd. So the kids came in and did activities for the first 30 minutes, visited the Easter Bunny, did some dance routines, and had their faces painted by the FCCLA. And then we moved them over to the other side of the dome where they actually executed the hunt, and it went, I would say, pretty flawlessly. Big thank you to Soundsational DJ, who came out and emceed the entire event and really made sure that it moved very smoothly. So I think we were cleaned up and out of the dome before 11 o'clock, right about 11 o'clock, and everybody left happy, smiling, no issues to note or report. It was an excellent event all the way around.
It was very good, and we remembered to hand out the goodie bags.
And we got the goodie bags handed out, yes.
So that was a good thing. It went really well, and you guys did a great job putting a new twist on it this year. And yeah, with the dancing and all the activities was really fun. So good job by you guys, and as always, we're looking forward to the concerts.
Yeah, the committee is very engaged. I have to say they're doing a great job, and they're always accepting new members. We've had a couple new people jump on board the last couple of months, so they were very helpful in executing this event really smoothly. The Hamlet of Milton / Recreation Committee have the Spring Fling coming up on the 26th of April, and that's down at Locust Grove. That is a fundraiser for the Hamlet of Milton Association, and it funds all of the flowers that the organization does throughout the Hamlet of Milton. New this year, they're adding flowers to the entire Hamlet of Marlborough as well, so that's a very important fundraiser for them. And then we will swing into the Autism Color Run, which is also later in April in conjunction with the school district, so that'll be very exciting at the town park. And then we'll be in full concert prep. So the concerts will kick off in July again this year. I think all of the bands are confirmed at this point and are lined up. We have a great lineup that we will be releasing very soon. And new this year, the fireworks will be at the front end of the concert, so they'll be right after 4th of July, and it'll tie in nicely with the holiday.
Yeah, that's going to be good, because right around 4th of July. So, and the food trucks, of course, are still getting them, so they've been very popular.
Yes, still getting food trucks.
So, excellent. Good job.
All good.
All right. Emergency Management Preparedness Committee, there's nothing new there. CAC Committee, Mickey, you're up. Good evening. What is this thing?
Janelle Kazarek and I attended the Climate Action Conference, where we heard many inspirational speakers describe activities happening across the Hudson Valley and the state. We are very excited to learn that there will be several new grant opportunities that would be a good fit for our town and for the CAC to work on to present to the board for your consideration. We have been in contact with Rosemary Wine to see how these new efforts can support the work she has already done. Janelle and I have scheduled a meeting with her to discuss our approach to these grants in more detail. We are looking forward to being present at the Milton Main Street Blossom Festival on April 30th, where we will have an informational table about the importance of bees, as well as information about the CAC and the Climate Smart Communities program. Speaking of bees, this is a special note to those who are on Zoom tonight or who will be checking the town website. Now is the time that bees will be swarming. When people encounter a swarm, the usual reaction is to overreact and to try to swat them away. This only angers the bees who are working to protect the queen while they find a new location. As long as the bees are not disturbed while swarming, they will stay with the queen and won't present a real danger to any onlooker. With the board's permission, I encourage people who see or hear a swarm to notify the police, if that's okay, and we'll ask Chief Kokoza to refer any calls about honeybee swarms to our local beekeeper, Don Smurden. He will come to retrieve the bees or find a fellow apiarian to do so. This will save the bees and help the person rid themselves of a local hive at no expense. I can and will provide that contact information with the police department. We are in the process of developing a Facebook page to disseminate our work and help the public understand environmental issues. One of our members is generously donating his time to provide this tool. We appreciate the cooperation of the board and the town employees as we continue to organize and present the CAC and its work as directed by the town resolutions and this board. Danielle Cherubini has been especially helpful in posting on the town website for us, and I extend a public thanks to her. We anticipate adopting a mile of 9W highway with the New York State Department of Transportation Adopt a Highway program to gather trash from the roadside and to take a second look at how to reduce light contamination. We will also be pursuing building a pollinator garden and the possibility of additional tree plantings. Rosemary Wine and Howard Baker are giving us very good advice on this, and it is another area for grant opportunities. The CAC welcomes anyone who supports this type of environmental work who would like to lend their interest and skills. And I thank you very much.
Well, thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
Jerry, you have a problem with that bee? Does anybody on the board have a problem with him giving that information?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Bees.
for attending that
I would never know.
conference.
I want to see Jerry collect the bees. That's what I want to see him dress up in that suit.
I saw a swarm. I actually witnessed a swarm. I heard this terrible humming outside my back door. And as I opened the porch door, there was this swarm of bees like hanging right there on even the
wow.
porch. And my father-in-law at the time, I called him right away, and he said, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it," because he was a beekeeper. And it was amazing to watch them just move. Like, they just moved. And then they found a tree branch, and he went up and tapped the tree branch into a shoebox, and he had a swarm of bees. So when you know how to do it, it's easy.
Yeah.
People just, and bees are very, very important. Don was telling me that he lost 12 hives, so
Oh, really?
there's diseases going on that they're not sure what's going on, but every hive is important, so I really encourage people to report it.
Okay.
Thank you. And thank you for your appointment of Ms. Kazarek.
Yes, we're going to get there. Okay, so we got the IT committee. The only thing we have there is, like I said, we're getting information for the community rec center for audio visual and for camera system. I know Jerry is working on the camera system with Gary, and he's going to be hopefully getting those estimates for next meeting. And I reached out to the gentlemen today to try to get them to give me the estimates for next meeting for the audio and visual. So hopefully we'll have all those for next meeting. But those are the big IT committee things, including our software upgrades that we talked about in our department meeting. So there's a lot of big ticket items, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do all these items in 1 year, but there are items that need to be done. And of course, I keep saying Tomback, but it's the Community Rec Center is probably our #1 priority at this point because of we're in the middle of construction, and this is the time to put those types of things in because it's you're actually cheaper because the walls are open. So, but we'll let you guys know when we get that. Milton Train Station Foundation. I did not get anything from them. Milton Landing Citizens Committee. Besides the spring fling, I think that's it, right? And that's on, you said April 26th, right? It is?
It's the 26th, but that's the HMA, that's the Hamlet of Milton.
That's the Hammond Milton one, yeah. Yeah, they're always like, the Milton Landing Citizens Committee is the one
Down by the river.
down at the river. Like I told you, we met and we're going to start moving forward with that project. Marlborough Hamlet Economic Development Committee. I don't even know if they have met in
They have.
over a year. So I'm not sure. I mean, I hate to say take something off like this because it should be on there, but unless they're going to start actually meeting, there's no sense of having a committee that no one meets. So maybe I'll reach out and find out. Meet me in Marlborough. I didn't get a report from her because I think that Sheila is on the wrong bi-weekly meeting because she'll probably give me a report for the next meeting, and I have to let her know that. She did ask me today, though, about the signs for the Meet Me in Marlborough signs that are like the hometown hero signs. I told her, well, we had mixed reaction to it. We weren't against it, but the thing is, you were supposed to give us locations, and you had not. So I asked her to, again, get me locations of where you're thinking about putting them, and that way we know that they don't interfere with the hometown hero sign. So that's where we're at with that. Hammond and Milton Association, yep, that's the one for the spring fling and the flowers. And again, that's a really good, if you want to just get out and have a good time and, help donate to the flowers. And like Sherida said, that this year they're actually going to extend that to the Marlborough Hamlet, which is nice of them. It's a good way to make our hamlets look nice throughout the summer and spring. Transfer Station Review Committee.
It's another committee.
Another committee that really has not met probably in over a year or more. This committee was formed at the time when they were considering going out, putting garbage disposal out to bid town-wide instead of having it
They were going to make
independently.
districts.
They were going to do districts. We got a lot of mixed reviews from different communities that did that. Some hate it, some love it. So it kind of just got pushed down the list. But again, another one of those committees, if we're not really meeting, if there's no need for it. I mean, I think more for it is just right now we're in the need of, I have to get rid of the remaining tires that are up there. The contractor that we used last time is more than willing to come down and do it again. I just got to get help from the highway department to pull the tires out of the wooded area again. So I'll just talk to John about that again because Larry called me today about it and we discussed it. So we could do that. And that's it for committees and presentations. We already did Anthony's Eagle Scout project, which is great. And Tomback, I already gave you an update on Tomback. And does anybody have any news business? Anything you want to discuss? If not, and believe it or not, I have no correspondence. Nobody from Jerry's department resigned this week, so we're still intact in the police department. And public comments. This is the time anybody in the public has a comment, they could come up and they got 3 minutes to speak, or if not, we're going to go right into resolutions. Mickey, come on up.
Just a couple of thank you to the highway department. They were taking down trees in my house.
Oh, yeah.
Totally professional, totally helpful. I just can't say enough good things about John and crew. And
Is Harry up there? Harry's really good at moving trees. But they're all good.
very good,
Thank
thank you.
you.
And the town is so much better with so many cleaned up, and it's safer. I mean, that's really what it is.
Yeah. That's what John was aiming for this year. He's going to all the sharp turns and the corners and the areas that stuff are overhanging. And, since they had a light winter, the guys are able to go out and do these things. And, of course, you saw that they help us out whenever we need them at Tomback. So that's good, too. So thank you. All right, then we're going to get right into resolutions. And we're going to go with Resolution 53. And this is... So I sent you guys the information about this. I talked to Gil from Newburgh, and we talked to Plattekill. And I don't know if everybody in the public is aware, but the county is proposing building a resource recovery agency that is building a landfill, a new landfill that they're in need of. They had a company go out and find the best locations they thought for this, and the top two are in Plattekill. The problem with that is where they want to build it, it's close to a stream bed that flows into the water supply that goes into Chadwick Lake that does supply the town of Marlborough, the town of Newburgh, and sometimes New Windsor with their water supply. So it really doesn't make any sense because there's state and federal laws that prohibit that to happen. But at this point, they have it on their agenda to do this. So what I'm presenting to the board to pass is a resolution against them doing that, because of course it would affect our water supply directly, just as much as it does Newburgh, because that's where we get our water supply. So that's what this resolution is about. So Resolution 53, to oppose the Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency's landfill in the town of Plattekill. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following, whereas the Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency seeks a site in Ulster County for disposal of municipal waste, and whereas UCCRA commissioned a study of potential landfill sites which performed by HydroQuest, and whereas the study identified 2 potential target landfill sites in underdeveloped lands, both in the town of Plattekill, identified in the HydroQuest study as Site H and I. And whereas the southern portion of the Site I drains and contains tributaries to Quezig Creek in New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Design Class A stream, and a primary tributary to the town of Newburgh Chadwick Lake Reservoir, which supplies drinking water to the town of Newburgh and the town of Marlborough, and an emergency basis the town of New Windsor. And whereas Chadwick Lake Reservoir is a critical water supply for municipalities it serves, and vital not only to the public's health and safety, but also the economic health of the area, providing water, residential and commercial customers, and also important public and infrastructure facilities, such as Stewart Airport, Air National Guard Base, Leptondale Elementary School of the Wallkill Central School District, the East Coldenham School of the Valley Central School District, the Meadowview Hill Maddox School, Fostertown Elementary School, Gardnertown Elementary School, the Bombville Elementary School, the Newburgh and Large City School District, the Plattekill and Modena service areas of the New York State Thruway, and the Ruston and Danskamer power plants. And whereas the rules of regulations duly made and enacted in Section 133.20 of Title 10 of New York State Code Rules and Regulations, in accordance with provisions of Section 1100-1107 of the Public Health Law, apply not only to Chadwick Lake Reservoir, but to the tributaries of the waste shed, and prohibit any refuse disposal area from being located within 250 feet of a water course, which is defined as including every spring, stream, marsh, channel of any kind, the waters of which flow or may flow into the public water supply, and require all persons living on or visiting the watershed, meaning the entire drainage area contributing to water to the public water supply, to refrain from any act which may result in the contamination or portion of the water supply. And whereas the unnecessary risk of contamination and disturbance to the primary source of drinking water on which the communities are dependent opposed the potential landfill site are unattainable, and whereas the town of Plattekill, which contains both proposed locations for the UCRRA landfill identified in HydroQuest study, is opposed to both the proposed Site H and I location due to potential adverse effects to the community. Whereas based on the mapping available through the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation website is like that the town of Plattekill is one of the areas of Ulster County containing the sizable potential environmental justice area community, a factor which should weigh heavily against siting a landfill within the boundaries. Now therefore be resolved that the town of Marlborough opposes the proposed site of the UCRRA landfill in the town of Plattekill, both due to the risk of Chadwick Lake Reservoir watershed and the support of its neighboring community. And be it further resolved that the copies of this resolution be forwarded to the town clerk, to the High Honorable Patrick Ryan, U.S. Representative for the 18th Congressional District of the State of New York, Honorable Michelle Hinchy, State Senator for the 46th District, the Honorable Jonathan Jacobson, Assemblyman for the 104th District of the New York State Department of Health, the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, the Honorable Thomas Corcoran, Ulster County Legislator for the 11th District, the Honorable Gina Hansett, Ulster County Legislator for the 10th District, Executive Director Greg Oliver, and the Board of Directors for the Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency, and the Supervisor of the Town Board of Plattekill and the Town of Newburgh. So Colleen, you got a lot of mailing to do. As long as everybody passes it. And moves for its adoption.
Yes.
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 Yes, and thank you, and hopefully they listen. April 10th, 2023, Resolution 54, to appoint representative for the Ulster County Environmental Management Council. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following, whereas the request has been made that the town of Marlborough to have a representative to the Ulster County Environmental Management Council. Be resolved that the town board of the town of Marlborough hereby authorize the appointment of Janelle Kazarak to represent the town of Marlborough. Be it further resolved that shall take effect immediately, and it moves for its adoption.
Yes.
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 Yes. And resolution number 55. Resolution 55 to approve application for the Ulster County Municipal Park Grant. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following, whereas the town of Marlborough, the town has completed the application for the Ulster County Municipal Park Grant with a due date on April 11th, 2023. And whereas the town has been working to convert the practice baseball fields at Cluett Shantz Park to game playable fields and will be acquiring ownership of Youngs Park in Milton. And whereas the town is seeking funding to add game lighting to both of these locations. And whereas the addition of said lighting will enable the Marlborough Youth Baseball and Softball programs to become more accessible for working families, thus benefiting the children of Marlborough. Be it resolved that the town of Marlborough supports the application for the Ulster County Municipal Park Grant with the monetary in-kind matching component and moves for its adoption.
Yes.
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 Yes, thank you. And that's all our resolutions. So now we are going to go into executive session to discuss SRO Sergeant request for the part-time officers. And I need a motion to go in executive session.
I make a motion to go executive session to discuss part-time sergeant.
SROs.
Authorize somebody to do that.
Need a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We'll be back. Let's go, Sessa. You guys, for a year, you didn't tell me.
I'm good.
Nah, you're missing it, that was quick.
I don't think I ever stopped it. It's still recording, right?
If you say anything bad, it's recording it.
It was recording. If you were saying bad things, it got you on there. All right, I need a motion to return from executive session.
I'll make this motion to return from executive session.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, so there was a decision made in executive session based on talks with the chief of police. And at this point, the chief does not believe SRO needs a sergeant position. He does believe it needs a possible lead SRO position. And by his recommendation, if the lead SRO would like to take that position as lead SRO, by directive of the chief of police, he will have that discussion. But at this time, the board has decided that the SRO part-time sergeant position is not one that they want to do by resolution. So that's what we decided, and we're going to move on from that. So now I need a motion to do adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.